Okay, so JD said that's funny. No, he also wants to know about Frank Dukes. Everybody wants to know about Frank Dukes, but we got the best story, in my opinion,
All
that
I
we
got.
just great
All
story.
I got.
Hey guys, in today's video, we're doing a fun Q&A session with Steven Lambert, and that's how I found out this very amusing story involving Frank Dukes. But there's also some cool background stuff, more background stuff on Van Damme's A Quest movie, and some stuff on Remo Williams. Oh, make sure to buy his book, by the way. He talks about so much good stuff in From the Streets to Brooklyn to the Halls of Hollywood. I'll link in the Amazon description below. It's full of over 100 chapters of amazing stories. Hey, if you want to support the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're into this kind of content. And this is volume 1 of the Q&A because I sat down with him for a while and we addressed a bunch of questions. So without further ado, let's get to volume 1 of this Q&A. The audience was really excited with all these, segmented interviews, breaking stuff down. And so I told them on my community page that I'm going to talk with you again on Saturday and ask them if they had any question they would like me to ask you. So I got a list here that we'll go through. I think this will be a lot of fun.
One, one
Uh,
guy, one guy said I read on your page that I look like Alan Arkin. I'm going, where did that come from? One guy said I sound like Donald Trump.
I've
I
had a
said, where
few.
the hell did that come from?
Yeah, that's funny. And I replied, I'm like, just your look, your mannerisms, and the way you speak. I thought you remind me of Robert De Niro.
Well, I come from Brooklyn, New York.
Well, there you go.
This,
Maybe that's part of it.
and it
But
never leaves. It never leaves you. You
mm,
know,
yeah.
there was my first,
No, yeah, no, you got good on cutting those out, definitely. But let's pull these
uh,
questions up here.
go ahead.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm just
Brooklyn, New
gonna.
York, Robin De Niro. Let me see. Movie wise, I appreciate it. In real life, I don't want to be associated.
I could see that. I won't comment any further, but I could see that. So this question, let's see, going down the list here. Okay, so this is kind of a comment, but I think you could comment on this comment. So this guy's referring. This is Detective Bat 2024.
I
He's
didn't do
saying,
it. What? I didn't do it. What?
well, he's saying, tell him Van Damme should have used more Muay Thai technique. So I guess he's referring to the Quest because he trained on a Muay Thai island. And
I tell you, on the Quest, what was most important to me, a sign of a good stunt coordinator, a good action coordinator, is not to give what you know. It's what to give relating to the script and the story and the people you're dealing with. It's very important when you're an action coordinator, when you're a stunt coordinator, when you're a fight coordinator. That's very important. And when I got that script and I read the wonderful opportunities, and I had many meetings with Van Damme
mhm.
and Moisha and the cinematographer about the look. I wanted to give Van Damme different looks. I wanted every fighter he was fighting, I wanted him to do different things. And let me tell you something, it was a fight every step of the way. You know, many times, at least 3 times, he fired me
Yeah,
and called me up and said I was only kidding. Many times I said, good, you don't like it. That's how close we got.
sure.
And that's how confident I was because I cared for him and I kept on explaining to him, this is for you, your audience. I've read all that stuff already. I've seen all your movies. A lot of people are afraid to tell him this, but I've seen you do the same thing over and over again.
Hmm.
People are tired of it. Follow the way I'm trying to guide you. And sure, you can make changes. You can still do the same things you've been doing, but don't do it as much. And every character you're fighting in this movie, do something different. Either it morph into, like when he fought the German guy, right? I decided I wanted him to morph into a street fighter, just like the German guy, more or less, but better. He was 2 or 3 times better, right?
Mhm.
And he didn't understand that at first because it was a lot of body language and a lot of facial expressions and things that he's never really done before. You know, he's used to posing, doing something pose, doing something pose, doing something pose, the same thing. Just like that heavy discussion, it took me weeks to get all those punches I did at the end. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said, this
that's
is something that nobody has ever really done, as many punches as this. And it's going to be memorable. He wanted to stop at the back spinning, jumping
sure.
kick, you
Hmm.
know, and I hounded him. I hounded him. And with respect, as I always do, but I always made sure that I told him that this is going to be important to you. This is going to be a new Jean-Claude. Let me do this, you do this. And every step of the way, because there's a lot of things I knew it would be easy for him to do, but he wasn't used to it. And nobody ever called him out. No other stunt coordinator ever called him out. Usually stunt coordinators, fight coordinators go, yes, sir, yes, sir. Okay, we'll do it this way. Okay, we'll change this way. I would say, I've seen that in 5 of your movies. I don't want to see that again. And
Yeah,
he
the
would give the
quest,
dirtiest look.
it definitely because I do remember obviously Kickboxer, Death Warrant, Bloodsport, Lionheart, etc. You know, very iconic Van Damme
Very.
moves, and then the quest. It almost seemed like, I mean, it was different, and then all the movies after that were kind of a little different too, like when he did Knockoff and Double Team and all those movies. I know he worked with like Hong Kong directors, so it makes sense that they would be a little different. But the thing I found most interesting on the quest is just the character himself. I mean, he's there because he's trying to steal the statue, like not necessarily win the competition, but he has to win that first fight against a German guy. Otherwise, him and Maxi Divine are basically stuck in the Lost City.
Right.
But just during the fights in general, you could tell that he's almost got like a certain, he's not quite confident because, for one, he never officially got invited. He probably shouldn't even be there. And he even admitted to Roger Moore that he doesn't think he can win. So it's kind of like a unique dynamic. Whereas Bloodsport, of course, he thinks he's going to win. Kickboxer, he has to win because he's got to avenge his brother. So the quest was just kind of interesting with the character not quite having the confidence, but like kind of adapting to each fight when he fought the different guys, as you mentioned, which you put together. So really fascinating stuff. But okay. So going back to that comment, Woody, the guy kind of, well, he phrased it as, tell him if he disses Donnie Yen, we're gonna have a problem. So in general, what do you think
Oh my
about Donnie
God.
Yen?
Shame on me. You know.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about Donnie Yen, though, in
I
your opinion?
love him. I love him. He's great. He's great.
Have you worked with him at all?
I wish.
Yeah, yeah. No, Donnie Yen's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
here's
my
something.
favorite. I love.
Pariah said, great interview series. Would be good to hear Steven's recollections of working for Goldfinger director Guy Hamilton on Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins, which you have a whole nice chapter. So you were like that guy literally hanging from the Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah. Did all
That's
Fred Ward
crazy.
stuff. He's a wonderful guy. Even though there was a good chance, and I think I've written that he was a tremendous athlete. Great athlete and a great guy. I haven't seen him in years, but I used to see him. He used to live at Venice Beach, but I haven't seen him in years.
What are you
But
talking about,
I
Fred
know
Ward, or are you talking about the director, Steven? What was his
Fred
name?
Ward was the lead actor.
Oh, that's who you're talking about, not Guy Hamilton.
Guy Hamilton, yeah, did I think seven James Bonds or somewhere close to that. He was a great guy. A lot of English are very stuffy, but he wasn't. He had a great sense of humor, and we got along great. And I was so proud. Well, that's another reason why I left Canon Films.
Hmm.
Not only because I wanted to do something different,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. I remember that.
because Guy Hamilton, James Bond director, was
Yeah,
doing Remo Williams. So I thought it would help my career.
sure.
Statue of Liberty, it's a different kind, people, I had ninja. First of all, I came in as a martial artist, stuntman martial artist, and I was people were hiring me to do all kinds of physical stuff, but also a lot of martial arts stuff.
Yeah.
So, when it came down to all the three ninjas, I had ninjas up to my nose.
Sure.
So I wanted to do something different. It was the beginning of my career. So when Remo Williams came along, hey, kitty.
Oh, hey, well, Ollie Patch might as well make an appearance for everybody. They seem to like
Yep,
him, so.
yep, yep. I was so excited. Guy Hamilton, about 7 James Bond pictures. No way in hell I wanted to give that up.
Sure.
So he
Yeah.
was great. He was the first guy that taught me what the hell bullocks meant, because he
Okay.
kept on saying bullocks, you know. And then it was very funny about that, the situation between him and I, because he was always very safety conscious, and I wasn't. And I never am very safety conscious, um, as far as me is concerned.
Because you're confident in your own skills, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, makes
exactly.
sense.
I'm
Real
very
quick.
safety conscious with you, the people who work for me. But me, I've always been laxed.
Real quick, this is for the audience. It's really fascinating when you read the book because you talk about your childhood and all these friends, but then it was almost like the movie The Karate Kid, where you ended up moving to like the Valley in California from New York. And
Yes.
then, you took martial arts and stuff there. But when you went to do the Remo Williams movie, you finally got to reconnect with your old friends. It is a great chapter because I'm an
Was it
Army
great?
brat, so I
Did you
moved a
cry?
lot.
Did you
And
cry? Did you have a tear in your eye?
it's emotional, like you guys, the old gang getting back together, and kind of like where they're at in their lives, and then where you're at in your life. So fascinating read. We don't want to give too much away. I'm just the audience. You got to buy that book, linked in the Amazon, description below.
But I could say that it taught me a big lesson. It
Mhm.
woke me up to a lot of things that I realized then and not before that. After the situations that you read happened, and I hope I explain that in the book,
It's very
because
detailed.
it was an eye opener and it really broke my heart.
Yeah. No, great stuff there. All right, let's see. We got the next one here. Oh, so one guy, and we don't need to get into this because I'll tell you how I replied. He said, this was Wes Pozo. Any interesting stuff from Revenge of the Ninja? So I already talked to you. We're going to work together. I mean, these have to be different videos by themselves, doing Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3 Domination, and American Ninja. Like, we could get so in depth. So we're not going to, I'm sure you could talk about Revenge of the Ninja for the next 3 hours if you wanted to. So we don't need to do that right
That's
now.
very smart, because it's a trilogy in more ways than one.
We're gonna make a really cool set of videos
Yeah,
together. I'm telling you, these are gonna be awesome, man.
good. It's
Um,
it would take too long, but it was quite. I will say, Revenge of the Ninja to Domination to American Ninja. Uh, there was quite a change throughout all of them. So it's better off holding it for another time.
yeah, that's gonna be a
There's a lot of
fascinating video
fascinating
series.
things, as I explain in the book.
Buy the book, guys. Okay, the next question. Preston Lions FC. Oh, okay. So this kind of relates to another question that a couple of people had. Let's see. Because so was Frank Dukes on the set of the Quest at all? Like, did he work on it as
I,
well?
I hear that every now and then, and that
Yeah.
baffles me. I have a picture that I'll put up in the near future. I had a luncheon with him. First of all, to answer your question, um, I was on there the whole show,
Mhm.
and a month before the show started, so that's 4.5 months,
Sure.
relatively, and I never saw him once. And being the
Okay.
fight coordinator, I would know. So I don't know where people get or he get saying that he was the fight coordinator or he was on the show. Never once. Not one
Mhm.
hour, not one day. Because I was on there 30 hours a day.
Now, have you ever met him?
I was invited to a lunch a long time ago, a few years ago, and with a director named Malone Newman and a car racing guy named Matan, and there were three or four other guys there with Frank Dux. And I knew who he was, but he didn't know who I was. And during this luncheon, it was Beverly Hills restaurant. During this luncheon, uh, um, he wouldn't stop talking. And I just listened. And I was there for 2 hours until he got to a certain point where all of a sudden the quest got brought up. And he said he was the stunt coordinator.
Boom,
And
you
I
got
said,
him.
yeah, I rose and I gave him a piece of my mind with respect. And everybody was shocked. And I got up and I walked out. And my director friend, Alon Newman from Israel, came over to me and said, why don't you come back in? You know, calm down. Why don't you come back in? Because I take very much offense. Uh, People stealing other people's work.
Yeah, he's trying to get your credit.
Your
The
life.
quest.
People don't understand it's your life, it's your work.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, it may sound stupid, it may sound silly, but it's like you're a Van Gogh or something. That's the way I think. You know, when I'm dead 100 years from now, if people see this movie, I want people to know I really did it. You know, and
Hmm.
it annoys me that somebody could stoop so low to say and claim that they did something that's horrifying. You know, that's like me saying I did Enter the Dragon. I was the fight coordinator on Enter the Dragon. You'd look at me like I was nuts, punch me in the face if we were face to face. Um, um, but I was shocked, you know, and I just told him, no, I got to leave. You could stay or you can go. I don't want to. So that's the first and last time I ever met Frank Dukes.
So based on his trying to get credit for the quest, unbeknownst to him that the actual stunt coordinator, fight coordinator was literally there who called him out on it, which is hilarious. I guess it's safe to assume you don't believe Bloodsport was really based on a true story. Is that a safe assumption?
I don't know, you know, that's what people say, you know, and I don't really follow it. I never followed Frank Dukes, you know, I never knew who he was, even after he wrote, you
Hmm.
know. I don't know his background. I don't know his martial arts. I only know that you know he was never on the quest, and the confrontation I had with him at this lunch. That's the
Yeah,
only.
that's a funny story.
Can't, I can't. I can't tell you whether it was true or not.
I think his extent on the quest is, I know he sued Van Damme, and I think they ended up giving him like part story credit, but that is like probably the extent, you know.
But he was never
Yeah.
in Thailand. I was there the whole show. You know, like I
Mm.
said, 30 hours a day. If
Yeah, I
there
mean you would have definitely seen him,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. You don't think he would have went up to me? You don't think
Yeah,
I would have seen him with Van Damme, you know,
sure.
or Musha, or the director, or somebody? You know, never there once.
Yeah, that's funny. And then Preston also said or asked how you got in the movie industry, which you covered that in our interview. That I'm going to post a full interview. So for Preston, we're going to cover that. So we don't need to answer that right now. Let's see. All right, that's going to do it for volume one of the Q&A. Make sure to tune in next time. We'll answer JD's other question. He wanted me to ask Steven Lambert who he thought he would win a fight between Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal. Lambert also gives some really good ideas on how to break into the stunt world. And also, there's an amazing Rambo 3 story that we're going to share. So make sure to check in for future volumes.